Hello everyone, welcome to Red Snapper. My name's MJ and it is patch day and that means it's leak day. This is super exciting. Massive shout out and thank you to Snap.Fan for all the work they do on leaking this information. This is absolutely incredible. We've got an absolutely ton of information and leaks to go through today. But the one thing that we're not quite sure on is how we're going to get some of these cards. If you see my recent video on new cards coming to the game, we don't know how some of these are coming. Some of them are going to be through Deadpool's Diner. We can pretty much guarantee that. But there's way more cards than there are Spotlight caches and weeks. So we don't know how we're getting every card. And the first card that we don't know how we're getting is Tombtone. This is coming next season, so next month in the Spider-Man season. Could be through Deadpool's Diner, we don't yet know. He's a 4/6 and costs 1 if an enemy card was destroyed last turn. So this is really interesting. Not really a destroy card because you're not really going to be playing this in a destroy deck. So I think that's interesting because it's enemy card. So I think this is going to make Elektra a good card, and I am bloody here for it. I just need Second Dinner to offer me the Elektra, the Daredevil Elektra variant. I've been waiting for that to show up in my shop for well over a year now, and it hasn't shown up, so I'm fuming. And when Tombstone comes out, I'm going to be gutted if I can't get that Elektra variant, because I think Elektra is going to be really good, and obviously I've got Killmonger on screen here as well. I think Shang-Chi could work as well. But very interesting that there'll be this new kind of, well, I think there'll be this new kind of destroy your opponent's cards style of deck. So possibly Gambit might come out in that deck. I don't know, but definitely going to be interesting. Or is it going to join the ranks of like the Stature Black Bolt style of deck? So like you move something with Jeff and get the low cost on Miles, you destroy something, you get the low cost on Tombstone, you discard something of theirs, so you get the low cost on Stature. That could be a thing as well, because we're starting to get more of these style of cards. But really cool, love the artwork as well. We just don't know how it's coming. Another card that is super weird, this is Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben has been in the data for a very long time, but he's had his ability updated. And this is coinciding with next month, which is the Spider-Man season. Now, the thing is, guys, you could say, isn't this card just a location card? He's a 1/2. When this card is destroyed, replace it with Spider-Man. Isn't that so weird and kooky that it could just be a location card? But the thing is, we already know the locations from the Spider-Man season, and it definitely doesn't have Uncle Ben mentioned in any of the locations. So this is a random and weird card. I think this could just be a freebie. I don't know if the anniversary of Marvel Snap is coming up. Maybe something to do with that, possibly. Although I am expecting it next month in the Spider-Man season. I reckon it could just be a login bonus or a freebie. This is such a weird card that I think we could easily get it for free. And more free cards is not a bad thing at all. Actual card-wise and synergy-wise, I've got Scream on the screen here because Scream, of course... Well, not of course, because it's not out yet, so I'll remind you what her ability is. In fact, she's changed to a 2/2 now as well. So Scream, when one of your opponent's cards moves, she steals 2 power from it once per turn. So she can't get absolutely out of control. But of course, if you destroy Uncle Ben, Spider-Man's going to move, it's going to turn into Spider-Man, move a card, and so Scream can get the dip in action on there as well and get the little puncture on there. And of course Killmonger. There's not going to be a super easy way to kill your own Uncle Ben and benefit like just for like, so you wouldn't really do something like Carnage or Venom because then you're like, what kind of deck are you playing? So I think if you want to tech in Killmonger and maybe Uncle Ben becomes this new sort of Nova thing. Maybe there's this new Kamikaze style deck with Nova and Uncle Ben and Killmonger. I think that'd be really cool. This is looking really spicy because we're getting some really interesting deck ideas here. And just random brand new stuff. Random! Right, moving on to the next season is the Symbiote season. And we've got 2 new cards which showed up in the data. We've got partial information only. So we've only got Agony. So once again, we've got the question marks on the screen because we don't know how she's coming out. But she's a 1/2. After you play a card here, merge this with it. Oh my god, I love her. I absolutely love her. I really hope that it's the Pandart Studios are doing the variants for the Symbiote season. I really hope there's a Pandart Studios variant for this card. This to me is absolutely sick. Synergies on screen. I've got Deadpool. Deadpool's going to be absolutely crazy with Agony. Yes, you could do things with like the old style Forge that is basically the same thing as this, but I still really think that Deadpool and Agony is going to be spicy. But hey, Nimrod! I'm a massive Nimrod fan. If you can't get that Shuri out in time, Agony makes Nimrod an 8. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'm massively on board with Agony. I think she's class. Absolutely mega sick. Just really interested to see how we get hold of her. Now, the next card is Lasher. I'm going to talk about him a tiny bit, but we don't actually have any information. We do not know how much he costs, how much power he has, or even his artwork. This is just a random piece of artwork that I put together. But we do know his ability is an activate, afflict an enemy card here with negative power equal to this card's power. I could see him being something like a 3/3. I think that's pretty sensible. 2/2 possible. If he's a 3/3, it gives him sort of like a 3/6 power with the delayed effect and the fact that you need to draw into him. So I think it'll probably be a mid-range card and land around there. I don't want to talk about him too much though, because we literally do not know anything about him. So now we move into the Gorr season. I believe that Gorr is the season pass card. I'm not 100% certain because again, there's more weird stuff happening. Surtur is in this season and shows up as a season pass variant as well. So are we getting 2 cards through the season pass, or are we getting Surtur a weird random way? Anyway, let's talk about Gorr. I think he's crazy. I've had some people be a little bit down on him already. I think he's nuts. He's a 6/3 ongoing +2 I do apologise. Let me start again. +2 for each on reveal card in play. Now, I just looked at a random screenshot from a random game that I played like earlier in the week, and there were 11 on reveal cards on the field. So that's 22 power. Knock off the 3, what? That's like 18, 19. Sorry, no, I can't do maths. 22 minus 3. Yeah, 19. Yeah, he's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. This guy seems insane to me, because the average game is certainly going to have loads of on reveal, and it's in play, so it counts your opponent's cards and your cards. In terms of the synergies, I've got here basically just cards that generate multiple on reveal cards. So Kate Bishop, Hawkeye Kate Bishop, is going to be nuts. She is 3 on reveal cards alone, potentially. I know you could get the Pym arrow, but very often she's going to be 3 on reveal cards herself. So she's given +6 power to Gorr. Snowguard creates a couple of on reveals herself, and those are obviously, you can play both of them out should you wish to. But yeah, just in general, I think Gorr's just going to be a general use good card. He definitely will be extremely powerful. Like, just at the average game, you're not going to get out less than sort of 4 or 5 on reveals. So even then, he's going to be at least like a 7, which obviously a 6/7 is not exciting and not good. But the more that you pump out, the truly more crazy he gets. And look at him, he's black and white. Going to be a negative card. This is an absolutely crazy one to get in a negative deck, so very interesting indeed. Now we move on to Surtur. Okay, this is another one where we sort of have partial information. So I already said we don't know how we're getting him because it looks weird, because he's got a variant that shows up in the season pass. And also I've actually changed the wording on his ability because it basically doesn't make sense. He's a 3/3. After you play a card with X power, this gains X power. I have changed the wording on this because the wording has got some weird coding stuff in, which is like after you play a card with equal power to gain the card equal power to. I don't really know what it could possibly mean. Surely it's something like, yeah, basically we can't even speculate on this because we don't know. It's genuinely not worth speculating because we don't know. And honestly, my wording here has probably just confused things. So the next card that we do know about and is absolutely cracked is Fenris Wolf. They are a 2/3 activate, resurrect the highest power discarded or destroyed enemy card to your side of this location. This is freaking crazy. This is absolutely nuts. The fact this is an activate, do not miss that and do not sleep on it. So Shang-Chi, you can place that on 2. Shang-Chi on, probably going to need to do it before turn 5, like on or before turn 5, because we don't know exactly how Activate is going to work yet, but it's an ability that you press and it happens. And I would assume it happens at the start of the turn, either before or after cards move. And so it's unlikely you could play Shang-Chi on 6 and then activate the card and maybe Activate happens at the end of the turn. I don't think that's likely. So you're going to have to destroy, if you're using Shang-Chi, you're certainly going to have to do it up until turn 5. But still, even if you do that, or as I've also got another synergy on screen here, Moon Knight, any way to destroy their cards, Fenris Wolf can bring it back. Absolutely crazy. As a 2/3, stats are fine. Stats are fine. The effect is incredible. Even if you just did Elektra, again, this is Elektra support. I'm loving the Electras getting support. Fenris Wolf seems freaking nuts to me. Then we've got a couple of cards which we don't have the abilities for, but we know they're coming in spotlights. Or at least, again, we think they're coming in spotlights. I think there's a weird thing going on with Maliketh's release date. It seems to be appearing one day after Frigga. So Maliketh is possibly a Deadpool's Diner, maybe. Anyway, these cards don't have abilities, don't have powers, so we don't know what they do. Moving on to the last card that we do know about, and again, just presuming it's in this Gorr season, this Asgard season. Don't know exactly how it's going to be available again, but it's King Eitri. I don't know how you pronounce this. I'm not familiar with the character whatsoever. King Eitri. He's a 5/3 on reveal. Give the next card you play +4 power. So, similar sort of thing to Shuri. Shuri has lower base power, but doubles the next card you play power, and you have to play at that location. King Eitri, or whatever, has the benefit that you don't have to play it at the same location, and has a little bit of extra power himself, but doesn't quite double the card's power. It's giving +4. Now, in some instances, that might be more than doubling the power, because for example, you could give the power to someone like Iron Man, for example, which is really, really good. Really strong, really powerful. And this character is going to be super good with cards that can copy themselves or duplicate themselves, like Brood. So with Brood, it's like a 15 power play, like 18 power play if you include the power from this card. And also really good with Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider is one of these activate cards where you can activate him and he's going to copy himself. So you can do King. Actually, you would probably need a turn 7 for that. I almost put Magic as one of the synergies for King for this card, because you're going to often want the extra turn to do the late game super sick combos, which includes Nimrod as well. Feels like we've got a few Nimrod options this update with Agony and with this. I don't know. Seems pretty good to me. Seems powerful. Seems interesting. Seems cool. Definitely strong with Brood, though. I think that's going to be one to look out for. Maybe this character, I nearly said the name, slots alongside Gwenpool and Serra as another turn 5 option in Silver Surfer decks. So yeah, I think this is sick. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, thank you and shout out to Snap.Fan for all of the work they do in leaking this information. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!